event itself was remarkable for the sheer distance between its participants. At its peak, there were about 80 students and teachers there, with the bulk of them coming from America, Australia, and Japan. If you drew a triangle connecting these three areas on a map, it would have a perimeter of over 18,000 miles, or 28,500 kilometers. Yet we were all meeting one another, conversing, and sharing information in the same virtual space, in real time, which is pretty impressive when you think about how impossible it would be to do this in real life. On the surface, this looks like a somewhat chaotic scene of avatars walking around haphazardly, but underneath there were some pretty interesting conversations taking place. Students were instructed to use private one-on-one communication methods of text or voice chat whenever possible to avoid the confusion that arises when 20 people are trying to talk to one another at the same time. I listened in on some of the conversations our students were having, and most of them followed the same basic pattern. Greetings, then casual chit-chatting, and finally more focused questions about Japanese culture. I appreciated the fact that students were using the opportunity to get comfortable with one another before jumping into the serious stuff, and it shows how closely the virtual environment mimics a real-world encounter between two strangers. Though most of the Japanese students were using voice chat, I was able to copy a transcript of a text conversation that better illustrates my point. The two students in this conversation are from America and Japan. It begins with a simple greeting, and the Japanese student compliments the American student on his avatar costume, which we come to find out is his favorite anime character from television. The Japanese student recognizes the costume immediately, and now they've found something in common. Next, they move on to questions and answers about the Kamakura period. And the American student realizes that Mystic's avatar is actually the wife of a famous shogun in Japanese history. Dialogue such as this was taking place all over the island, in both voice chat and text chat channels. The Japanese student is able to share some of her culture and has the opportunity to do so in English. The American student, who is obviously interested in Japanese culture, has a chance to find out a bit more about it. Though it is brief, the content of their questions and answers fulfill the goals of the event. By the end of the project, I was very pleased with the success that we had bringing everyone together. It wasn't easy, but with enough time to prepare and frequent communication between the teachers and student organizers, there were few problems in the end. The big payoff for me was that the students remained pretty enthusiastic throughout the process, despite the difficulty of the assignment. However, this should come as no surprise to anyone who's familiar with teenagers and their relationship with technology. These days, a typical 15-year-old's world revolves around a mobile phone, video games, YouTube, and socializing with friends on Facebook. While there are some due criticisms of this type of lifestyle in the educational community, the truth is, most educators fail to understand the potential for these technologies in the classroom. Most of us want to deliver educational content to our students in the same way that it was delivered to us, through lectures and textbooks. However, today's youth see this delivery of information as antiquated, and why wouldn't they? As educators, we should be teaching them how to use their computers, mobile phones, and the internet for productive purposes, in ways that will prepare them for the future. In addition, Skoolaborate, with its international pool of students and educators, provides a much larger audience and network of participants than would be available in a single classroom. And this has dramatic effects on the overall effort that the kids are willing to give to these projects. Hopefully, the Jidaimatsuri event is a small step in the right direction, and I look forward to the progress we will all make in the coming years.